Once upon a time, in a distant land, two legendary warriors clashed in an epic battle. Snake, the master of stealth from the Metal Gear Solid series, faced off against Chris Redfield, the rugged and skilled fighter of Resident Evil 5. The battle was fierce, with both fighters utilizing their skills and weapons to gain the upper hand. Explosions rocked the land as Snake used his advanced technology to unleash powerful blasts, while Chris Redfield relied on his brute strength and powerful firearms. As the battle raged on, Chris suddenly ripped off his shirt, revealing his chiseled abs. Snake was taken aback by this sudden display of raw masculinity, but he didn't let it distract him. He knew that this was a trick, a way for Chris to gain the advantage. But Snake was not one to be underestimated. He quickly regained his composure and continued to fight with all of his might. The two warriors clashed again and again, each determined to come out on top. Finally, as the sun began to set, the battle reached its climax. Snake and Chris stood face to face, both exhausted but still determined to win. With one final burst of energy, Snake unleashed his ultimate weapon, a powerful missile that engulfed Chris in a massive explosion. When the smoke cleared, Chris laid on the ground, defeated. Snake emerged victorious, having earned the right to lead the hot harem. As he looked out over the smoldering battlefield, Snake couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. He had proven himself to be one of the greatest warriors of all time. He knew that his legend would live on for generations to come.
Part 2, Redemption and Testosterone. As Chris lies defeated on the battlefield, he knew that he had to redeem himself to the gods of combat. Optimus Prime and Chuck Norris. They set out on a journey to seek their forgiveness and to gain their favor. Through rigorous training and meditation, Chris managed to tap into a new source of power, unimaginable testosterone that flowed through his veins. He was now stronger, faster, and more skilled than ever before. Meanwhile, Snake was enjoying his victory with his hot harem, relaxing in a hot spring, and his comments. Little did he know, his old rival was about to return, stronger than ever before. Meanwhile, the two warriors met once again, but this time the battle was on a different scale. They traveled through time, ascending through different dimensions, each determined to come out on top. The battle was epic, with Snake using his stealth and advanced technology to gain the upper hand, while Chris relied on his newfound strength and testosterone capabilities. They clashed in ancient Egypt, medieval Europe, and even in the distant future. As the battle reached its climax, the two warriors found themselves back in the present, locked in a final showdown. But this time, there could be only one victor. With one final blow, Snake emerged victorious once again. But Chris, impressed by Snake's skills and determination, acknowledged him as a worthy opponent, and the two warriors parted ways as friends. Snake returned to his hot harem, knowing that he had once again proven himself to be one of the greatest warriors of all time. And as for Chris, he continued his journey, seeking new challenges and adventures, always ready for the next battle.
It only gets worse. It only gets worse.
It really does only get worse.
Part 3, the ultimate battle. Just as Snake and Chris had settled into their new lives, a new threat emerged. Saitama, the powerful hero from One Punch Man, had decided to not only take the harem for himself, but to destroy the known universe. Saitama was joined by the Fast and Furious crew, who added their own brand of high-speed chaos to the mix. Snake and Chris knew that they had to put aside their differences and join forces if they hoped to stand a chance against this powerful new enemy. The battle was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Saitama's unmatched strength and speed proved to be a formidable challenge for Snake and Chris, but they were determined to protect the universe and their harem. The Snake used his stealth and advanced technology to disrupt the Fast and Furious crew's plan, while Chris relied on his brute strength and powerful firearms to take on Saitama. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with. The battle raged on for what seemed like an eternity, with the fate of the universe hanging in a balance. But just as all hope seemed lost, Snake and Chris unleashed their ultimate weapons. With one final blow, Saitama and the Fast and Furious crew were defeated. The universe was saved, and the harem was safe. As Chris looked out over the smoldering battlefield, they knew that they had accomplished something truly great. They had proven that even the most unlikely of allies could come together to achieve something amazing. And so, the two warriors returned to their lives, knowing that they would always be ready to defend their universe and their harem, no matter what challenges lay ahead.
Part 4. A New Kind of Love. As Snake settled back into his life with his harem, he couldn't help but think about his old rival, Chris. He had always been impressed by Chris's raw strength and masculinity, but as they had brought together to save the universe, he realized there was more to him than that. He began to see Chris as a true friend, and even more than that, someone he could have committed a detailed relationship with. So he decided to leave his harem and set out to find Chris. Chris, on the other hand, was training harder than ever before, bulking up his muscles and pushing himself to new limits. He had always been proud of his masculinity, but he had never felt like he had truly found someone who appreciated it. When Snake found him, Chris was shocked but also happy to see him. They started to talk and Snake shared his feelings, and Chris realized that he felt the same way. The two warriors began a new kind of relationship, one that was built on mutual respect, trust, and admiration. They trained together, pushing each other to new heights of strength and masculinity. They traveled the world, taking on new challenges and adventures together. They were a formidable team, and everyone who saw them knew that they were meant to be together. As they stood on top of a mountain, looking out over the world, Chris turned to Snake and said, "I never thought I'd find someone like you. Someone who understands me and accepts me for who I am. I love you, Snake." And Snake replied,
"I love you too, Chris. We'll take on the world together."
And so the two warriors, Snake and Chris, embarked on a new journey together. One that would take them to new heights of strength and masculinity, and one that would be built on a love that only true warriors could understand. The end. Or is it? The alcohol really helps with that.
Keep my composure. It's only just starting. Part 5. The Battle for Love. Chris and Snake had been together for years, and they had never been happier. But their love was about to be put to the test. The government had passed a law banning gay marriage, and Chris and Snake knew that they had to fight for their right to love who they wanted. They decided to take the fight to Mexico, where gay marriage was still legal. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they were determined to be together, no matter what. As they set out on their journey, they were joined by Dutch Vanderlyn and Arthur Morgan from Red Dead 2. The two outlaws had also been fighting for their own rights, and were more than willing to lend their support to Chris and Snake's cause. Together, the four warriors fought their way through the legal system, taking on corrupt officials and powerful lobbyists. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they refused to back down. The battle was long and grueling, but finally, they emerged victorious. Chris and Snake were granted the right to marry in Mexico, and their love was recognized by the law. As they stood together holding hands, they knew that their love had been worth the fight. They had proven the love knows no bounds, and that true love will always triumph. But their fight was not over yet. They still had to fight for their rights back home, where gay marriage was still banned. So they hired Saul Goodman, the sharp-witted lawyer from Breaking Bad, to help them in the legal battle that was to come. Oh, shit. Saul provided to be a valuable asset, using all of his legal know-how to help Chris and Snake with their case. And in the end, the government was forced to recognize gay marriage as a legal right. Chris and Snake were finally able to marry in their own country, surrounded by their friends and family. They knew that their love had been hard-won, but it had been worth every moment. And so, the two warriors, Chris and Snake, had won the ultimate battle. The battle for love. They had proven that love knows no bounds, and that true love will always triumph. Oh,
Part 6. In the latest chapter of the epic tale, Chris and Snake find themselves facing a new challenge. The entrance of Master Chief from the Halo universe. The legendary Spartan, who has become privy to the couple's plans to adopt a child, decides to use his influence and power to prevent the adoption from happening. He goes as far as to spread rumors about Chris being an abusive father, causing the couple to struggle with legal issues and public opinion. As they fight to clear Chris's name and prove their worth as parents, Snake begins to question his own thoughts on having a child and raising it as a gay man. He starts to wonder if he truly wants to become a father, and if his sexual orientation will affect his ability to raise a child. But just as things seem to be at their bleakest, Master Chief's plans come crashing down. In a dramatic twist, he is revealed to be wearing a comically smaller helmet underneath his iconic armor, and it is made fun of by his dominatrix wife, Cortana. "Hello, intimacy," she says. The couple is also beaten up by the Bloods and Crips from Chicago. They come to support Chris and Snake in their quest to adopt a child. Finally, Snake overcomes his fear and embraces his desire to become a father. While Chris's name is cleared and they are able to move forward with their plans to adopt a child, in celebration of their victory, the couple, along with Master Chief, Cortana, and their friends, have a pie-eating competition, marking the end of their journey.
I love how gay marriage is a thug right according to the Bloods and the Crips.
Years and years of gang war stopped momentarily for a happy gay couple trying to adopt a child.
Alright, chapter 7. Chris and Snake, now with their 3 sons, Juan, John, and Basket Case, were determined to survive the apocalypse as the only homosexuals on Earth. This is killing me.
This is killing me too.
They knew it would be a tough journey, but they were determined to keep their traditions and love alive. They scavenged for food and supplies, and always made sure to stick together as a family. But as they were surviving, they soon found themselves facing a new enemy, Duke Nukem, the child-hating cannibal who had an endless legion of anime girls with muscular thighs.
Let me make this hilarious.
Oh shit. He and his army. Stop. He and his army were determined to wipe out the last remaining homosexuals on Earth. And Chris and Snake knew they had to fight back. As if things couldn't get worse, Adam Jensen from Deus Ex, their failed adopted son, came back into their lives, using his objects to defeat the family. In the heat of battle, Basket Case, the disappointment. Oh, I love the clarification right there. That is fucking spectacular. Oh, shit. Basket Case, the disappointment, tried to disarm a thermonuclear bomb, but instead caused it to turn reality. Oh shit. Oh man. It's alright. I was not expecting that twist.
How good! I forgot how good the last part was.
Yeah, the character arc of the century, dude. In their final moments of darkness, the family was saved by an army of Care Bears who used rainbows and other questionable powers to save them. This is the last one. We just gotta make it through this. They fought off Duke Nukem and his army, and in the end, they restored the world by traveling back in time and meeting their old selves in the middle of the first battle. They stopped the apocalypse before it ever happened by killing Raptor Jesus, Thor, Kratos from God of War, and Steve Urkel. And all other apocalypse-causing entities. Aw, dude, you gotta watch out for Urkel, dude. What the fuck? The family was finally able to live in peace and love, knowing that they had saved the world and themselves. They continued to raise their sons with the value of love and acceptance, knowing that they were the only hope for the future. And so, Chris and Snake's love story was not just about them, but about the love and acceptance that they brought to the world, even in the darkness of times. Oh my god.
Built on mutual respect, trust, and admiration. They trained together, pushing each other to new heights of strength and masculinity. Chris turned to Snake and said, "I never thought I'd find someone like you. Someone who understands me and accepts me for who I am. I love you." And Snake replied,
I love you too, Chris. Well, we'll take on the... Oh my god. We'll take on the world together. I love you too, Chris. We'll take on the world together. Alright, alright. Oh my god.